Summer Girlies. I don't know why I said that. Summer Girls by Jennifer Dugan. I've read every Jennifer Dugan book. I quite like her as an author. I don't think she's the greatest sapphic author, but I think she's one of the more prolific ones. Not all of her books are 5-star amazing gigabangers, but none of them are awful dumpster fires, so that's a pretty good range in my book. Her books range from that wasn't the worst book I've ever read to actually that book was pretty good, which is a decent range. And she releases like 3 books a year, at least sometimes. I don't know. I don't know if she has 3 books scheduled on the docket for this year actually, but I swear like last year she released like 4 books or something ridiculous. She's very prolific. So I respect that as a reader and as an author myself. Jennifer Dugan's quantity over quality, which I'm a rare quantity over quality enjoyer apologist. She's a competent writer, so again, none of her books are terrible. Even if she's just churning them out, it's never like a slop fest, you know. You'll get something out of a book. You'll like parts of it, even if it's not the greatest literary masterpiece of a generation. So I really like Jennifer Dugan just as an author. I might do a video covering like all of her books because I've read all of them. But by the time I do that, she'll have released like 5 more books. So the conundrum, the paradox. Anyway, Summer Girls. This is the most average book you can imagine. For me, 3 stars means average, stock standard. That's exactly what this book is. This is the most 3-star book I've ever seen. The prose is perfectly acceptable. The pacing is perfectly fine. The plot structure is absolutely standard. There is not a single thing about this book that elevates it beyond standard. But there's also nothing that devalues it below standard. So it's a decent book. I will say this has like no soul. And I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. It's not in a good way. If you ask Jennifer Dugan what her favorite book of hers that she's written is and like what was the most important to her and that has like the most impact on her, there's not a damn chance that she will say Summer Girls. Unless she like grew up on the East Coast and really like surfing or something and the beach. But there's no way in hell that this book is like her favorite book that she poured her heart and soul into. You can tell that she did not. But it is still a competent book. You can tell she sat down and churned this out in like 2 weeks. That's hyperbole. This took longer than 2 weeks to write, I'm sure. But I'm saying this is the most basic plot structure. If you gave someone a rubric of this is how you write a book, this should be the pacing. You should reach this inciting incident on this page. You should reach the climax here. You should have a third act breakup right here. She could just take that and just follow it perfectly and you would get this exact book. It kind of feels like she's just following a rubric. She had an idea, she had a setting, she had characters, she had a location, she had just all the basics. And she's like, yep, I will now insert them into the plot here. I will do this. Yes, that is how a book works. That is how structure exists. Yes, here we go. Here is a book. You can read it now and it will be exactly what you expect it to be. And that's Summer Girls. So this is a YA sapphic romance about 2 girls who are from very different worlds who fall in love with each other. You have Birdie, who's the spoiled rich girl. Her mom is an influencer, and so she's grown up like on camera and she has to stream because her mom makes her make Instagram sponsored posts and stuff like that, and she has to lead this perfect life. The inciting incident for her is she accidentally crashes a car, her shitty boyfriend's car, and her parents punish her. Really, her dad punishes her. Her mom's terrible. But her dad makes her work as a beach parking lot attendant where he lives over the summer. Her parents live in 2 different places. Well, really, her dad works here. They're still married, but her dad works here, her mom works there. It doesn't matter. So her dad punishes her by making her get a job like a normal person at this beach place where she usually goes in the summer. There's a lot of tourists here. And the other main character is Cass. She is a local. She does not like the tourists. She calls them summer girls because they're only here for the summer. And one of her and her friends' rules is that you can't date summer girls because they'll break your heart. because they're all like rich and spoiled and they're only here for a couple months and it'll just be a fling and then they'll forget about you and go back to their great lives. So she's kind of poor. Her dad actually works for Birdie's dad, who's like this rich property developer. But her parents they work for like the affordable housing charity in town. They like started that because the property developer they work for is like gentrifying everything and it's just become a big tourist trap and all the locals are getting priced out of their homes. So these two are immediately at odds. They're from different social classes. They have very different backgrounds. But Birdie's dad, the rich property developer, hires Cass to watch over his daughter for the summer while she's here because she's in trouble. She's grounded. So Cass has to babysit her, basically. So they hate each other at first, but then as they spend more time together, they fall in love. And then they have to figure out how to make it work past the summer and also get over their class differences. Like Birdie has to grow up and stop being like a spoiled brat who never thinks about anything but herself, and she gets involved in the charity that the Cass's family runs, and she has to push back against her weirdo momfluencer mom who makes her live stream her life and is like, no, I want privacy, and also I want to date a woman, I am bisexual, I want to dump my shitty boyfriend even though I have a streaming contract with him and he's supposed to appear on camera with us, but I want to be with this girl who I truly love even though she is a poor townie and my social circle does not respect her. So it's sort of Romeo and Juliet in a way. Not exactly, but like warring families, different classes, they don't like each other. Her friends are judgmental. Her friends are judgmental because they don't trust the rich bitch. It's exactly what you think is gonna happen. I basically spoiled the plot of the book, but that's what did you think was gonna happen? What did you think was gonna happen? It's this. It's exactly this. It follows the rubric, okay? So this is the most mid Jennifer Dugan book. Perfectly readable. Nothing bad. There was one little tiny detail that I did not like that like took me out of it and be like, that's not realistic. No one would do that. So Birdie isn't out, or like she sort of came out, but all of her friends and family were weird about it, so they just don't talk about it, and she just kind of pretends to be straight. But when she starts crushing on Cass, she starts telling her friends that she has a crush on her dad's assistant, who is Cass, and they assume that it's a man, and so she just lets them assume that Cass is a man, and she doesn't say that she's a woman. But she doesn't actively say, yeah, he's a man. She tries to like sidestep it, like it's a lie of omission where she just doesn't correct them. She doesn't want to lie directly. So she's like, yeah, they're my dad's assistant. They're really great. They're cute. But we keep fighting. I keep fighting with them. And she says them about a bajillion times. And her friends do not ever pick up on this. I thought it was going to be a thing where her friends are like, yeah, I noticed you playing the pronoun game, but like I didn't want to say anything. You clearly like weren't ready to talk about it, and I know you're bi, so like I just assumed it was either a woman or a non-binary person or something, but I didn't want to say that you were clearly playing the pronoun game. Like her friends were literally saying him repeatedly, and she's like them, them. And she doesn't even like try to restructure her sentences to avoid mentioning any pronouns whatsoever. She just says them a bajillion times. And it is very easy to pick up on. So I thought the reveal was gonna be that her friends would be like, yeah, we fucking noticed, but apparently they didn't notice her say the different pronouns than them a bajillion times. That was my one gripe with this book. They would have noticed. They would have said something. But other than that, everything is the most standard, non-offensive, unmemorable, stock standard, baby. This is fresh off the factory lines, mass-produced. I would put this probably square in the middle of Jennifer Dugan's bibliography canon. There's like a French I don't fucking speak French. Ouvre. I don't know how to fucking say this word. Her bibliography, even though that's a different meaning, and it's not like discography with an artist. Her canon, the Jennifer Dugan canon. Her work, her body of work. This one's gotta be dead in the middle. There's definitely worse ones, there's definitely better ones. Some Girls Do, I think was my favorite, and then I also liked Verona Comics, is that what it's called? The one about Verona Comics, which is actually like a straight romance. But that one's really, really, really good, actually. But there's definitely worse ones, like Hot Dog Girl is way worse than this. That really bad graphic novel about the witches. The graphic novel about the werewolves is good. The graphic novel about the witches is like real bad structurally, and the main character doesn't do anything in that book. And then she's got a couple adult romances that are also like fucking mid. This is just mid. It's mid. This is classic Jennifer Dugan, as fucking mid as it gets. So a good 3-star romance. If you really like sapphic YA, if you really like the beach and the beach vibes. Cass is a lifeguard also. Did I say that? She has about 10 fucking jobs apparently. So they're at the beach and, you know, doing beach stuff. They go surfing. Cass really likes surfing. So if you're into the summer vibes and you want a YA romance, here you go. They do feel like kids. They're just 18. They've just graduated high school. So they're not super young YA, but they're also not like just pure adults in kids' bodies. Technically they're adults, they're 18. But they feel age appropriate. They feel realistic. Cass is working these jobs because she wants to go to school and get like an internship with Birdie's dad, and Birdie is like thinking about starting a business and maybe going to college, but she's got to figure her shit out because she's just like a rich privileged girl who's never had to like try anything in her life. They feel age appropriate. It's good characters. They don't feel like college kids who go out drinking every book. I don't think there was like any underage drinking in this book. Or if there was, it was like one time or something where they go to a party. I remember like they went to like one party and I don't even remember if they drank. They might have, but it was like a one-off line and they weren't going to parties every single weekend, thank God. I've been reading a lot of shitty fucking YA books where everyone's just drinking their minds out for absolutely no reason. And this was not that. Thank you, Jennifer Dugan, for writing the most mid book that isn't fucking deranged. And it's just as standard as you expect it to be. So, pretty good. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. Very ambivalent, perfectly acceptable book. Good job, Jen. I will read all of Jennifer Dugan's next books.